David, are you sure you can do that jump? You haven't tried it before.
Oui, bien sûr. Pourquoi? Je suis David.
Ah yes, Paris, the city of lights, the city of love, and of course the main location for Assassin's Creed Unity. Not too long ago, it used to be an incredibly controversial opinion to say you even liked Assassin's Creed Unity, let alone it be your favorite in the series. But that it was for a young SpaceSquid. That's me, by the way. I'm not exactly a big YouTuber or anything. And it was for a lot of good reasons. I remember the marketing being insane for a kid like me in 2014. The Xbox One and the PS4 were just about to come out. Just big innovations in gaming. Felt like the future was right around the corner. And there was a very distinct, just absolutely stunning cinematic trailer that I watched a billion times on the bus ride home from school. I remember even drawing all the characters that were in the trailer. I guess I thought that they would be characters in the game, but they were all very cool nonetheless. I wasn't even getting a next-gen console, I had no plans for it, but just the idea of the game just completely enamored me. And then it finally came out and it took the internet by storm, though not really in a positive way. Broken beyond repair, they said, but I didn't care. It looked amazing. I would stay up late at night watching videos of the smooth parkour, the beautiful city that you had full access to. And finally, after months and months, I finally got it. I had to take turns with my two brothers, but we would always switch colors of the Arno's armor when we would switch off so that our assassin story could continue on. At the time, I didn't really care too much about the story, but I was obsessed with Paris. Moving through its crowded streets, up its small, tight alleys, and up into the open rooftops. Even running my own cafe that I got to manage and live in. I'd spend hours just walking around and exploring every little nook and cranny, spending time in the armory and the library. Looking back, I think those memories are what inspired me to be an entrepreneurship major like I am right now. But they did more than just inspire my business mindset. I got to explore Paris in the 1700s, and it made me want to explore Paris now. With a lot of luck, I did. We went on a family vacation to Europe in 2016, and I got to go to Paris. Unity was fresh in my mind, as was Syndicate's London at the time, which we also got to go to. I went on to live in London for a few months, which could be a cool future video if this one does well, which I was fortunate enough to get to climb Notre Dame before the fire took it, and get to see Paris the way Arno saw Paris. And although my synchronization of the city was in a cage, it was still the same view. Albeit new buildings and slightly different layout and whatnot. The height, however, was real. I spent the next 6 years obsessed with the dream of being an assassin. Practically memorized all of Ronnie Shalvis's parkour tutorials. Finally, in 2022, it was time for me to start my own journey. I left to study abroad in London for a few months, and after that I backpacked around Europe. And although I wasn't climbing up buildings and gliding along the rooftops, the cities of Europe were mine to explore. I followed in Arno's footsteps, visiting the Palace of Versailles where his journey started. It really says a lot when you're visiting these places with just centuries of history, and the main thing on my mind is how I used to run around these halls as a kid, playing as a guy in a hood. I still made the adventure my own, however. The gardens of Versailles were fantastic, as if a giant forest made by unseen hands. The water was so picturesque it felt like just walking into a painting. We rented boats to paddle around in, and I realized you don't need to be climbing up buildings to really make something an adventure.
What?
The catacombs of Paris are similarly fantastical, but in a much darker sense. It still doesn't seem real that I walked through tunnels completely surrounded by the remains of real people. Each of the bones in that place just had a whole story of their own. How lucky are we who can walk through the bones of history? It's a really amazing thing to get to play in history, to insert yourself in these really important events. It is, in my opinion, what really sets Assassin's Creed apart. And it's not alone in that. There's fantastic games like Ghost of Tsushima that arguably do it better, especially more recently. But Unity will always have a very special place in my heart. It is also a wonderful thing to get to experience it yourself. Not just recreate the adventures you've been on virtually, but to make your own. This theme is very similar to the point I made in my Yakuza video, which, go check it out if you're interested. I worked pretty hard on it, it's pretty cool. But that idea is one of the most fascinating things I've learned while traveling. It is amazing to be inspired by the media we take in. We're blessed to live in a time where, at the press of a button, you can be 500 years ago running around a city that doesn't even really exist anymore, with a friend even. But there is something truly special about following that inspiration and seeing where it takes you. Who knows, maybe your adventure will be even more memorable. Thank you so much for watching. It really means the world to me that you're here. I'm a very small channel, so if you feel inclined, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, comment. I reply to almost all my comments. It's really just amazing to be able to share these stories that I have with the world. If there's anything you'd like to see, please let me know. I'm basically making anything at this point. My Yakuza locations video did really pretty well, especially for my channel. So I'm kind of following that path and seeing where it goes, but I'm gonna run out of travel content here pretty soon. So let me know if you have anything, because I will make a video out of it. Thank you so much.
This'll do nicely.